Hi, I'm Shelley Wood, and this is my tiny sewing room where I make doll clothes sewing videos. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a pair of jeans, some people call them dungarees, to fit monster high, ever after high, and similar sized fashion dolls. Before we begin, please go to shelleywood.com to download and print this free PDF sewing pattern. Use the tapered leg pants pattern to cut out all the pieces shown here. Lay one pant leg on top of another. You'll want to keep right sides together. That means the pretty side touches the pretty side. Now sometimes the fabric won't have two different colors and then it doesn't matter. Sew down the outseam, that's the outside edge of the pants. Now I'm using a needle and thread to backstitch, but you could use a sewing machine, of course. If you need help with the backstitch, look in the description below this video on YouTube for my tutorial on that. Sew the outseam for both legs like you see here. Clip the curved seams right at the hip area. That's what I'm doing here. You might want a few more cuts than what I'm giving it. Press the seams open. Now, if you're working with a child, kids will require help with a hot iron, obviously. Lay one pant leg on top of another. Again, you'll want to keep those right sides together. Pretty side touches the pretty side, just like you see me doing here. We say pant leg even if it is a jeans that we're making. Now sew one of the crotches together. Again, this can be done hand stitching or on a sewing machine, like you see me doing here. Carefully clip this crotch seam. When you're clipping seams, you want to make sure you don't cross the thread line. Be very careful. Open the pants up like this and press that crotch seam open. Create a casing at the waist by folding the waist fabric once and then a second time, but the second fold will be a deeper fold. Now I'll show you how I do it. So here are my pants. I fold just a very small fold and then a little deeper one. It's maybe a little less than a centimeter. Then use a whip stitch along the edge of the casing from one end of the casing to the other. Now if you need help with the whip stitch, I have a tutorial for that. Again, look in the description below this video on YouTube. Now your jeans should look like this. It still doesn't quite look like jeans, but when you finish stitching up the casing, you're going to need to measure your doll's waist for elastic. Leave about 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters of extra elastic at each end of the elastic to provide what's called a seam allowance. Attach a safety pin to one end of the elastic and then send your safety pin through the casing like you see me doing in this next video clip. Now notice I'll take a straight pin and pinch that through the elastic, all the way through the elastic. Fold the jeans in half, keeping the straight pins in your elastic on both sides. Stitch these crotches together, and when you do that, you want to make absolutely sure your needle goes all the way through both sides of elastic. Take one pant leg in hand at the unfinished end of the pant leg, and we're going to create a double fold hem by folding this edge once and then a second time. Next, we whip stitch along this double folded edge to create a hem. So here I'm showing you the fold. This is different than when we made a casing. So it's just a tiny little fold, but we do a double fold. When you've finished hemming one pant leg, bring the two finished crotches together. So here are my pants, and I flip them so that the crotches are now touching right sides together. sew the pant's inseam, starting where you've created your hem and moving up the pant leg from the hem to the crotch, and then part way down the other leg, but you want to stop and tie a knot at the knee of the unhemmed pant leg. Now create a double fold hem for this other pant leg. So that's what I'm doing here. We want to make sure it's even, and that's why we only sew to the knee, to make sure that we can see that the two sides of it are even. Once again, the whip stitch looks very nice for this, and if you need help with the whip stitch, I do have that tutorial in the description. Okay, now let's finish sewing the inseam. We're going to sew from the knee down to that final hem that we did. Your jeans should now look like this. We're going to invert them. That means turn them right side out. And I like to use a chopstick or a very narrow knitting needle to invert doll jeans. So you'll see me stick it inside the pant leg and then twist, and that's just a nice way to get that to come out. And now you're ready to try them on your doll. For more free printable sewing patterns, for making doll clothes to fit dolls of many shapes and all different sizes, please remember to visit my website, shelleywood.com. Well, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my videos and my free patterns, please share them on social media. It actually helps my website grow when you help spread the word.